This is what I've been waiting for
All right, you take it away.
all week. So one of the most surprising and, judging by the internet, popular reveals of the State of Play was an upgraded version of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, which has been called All-Star Battle R. And the term R is interesting because you look at a lot of Japanese games that use it, and often it means remix. In this case, you could consider possibly remaster, but this game is a bit more than remaster. Like, they're actually doing a lot to this. So it's based, for anyone who doesn't know anything about JoJo, I'm not going to really go into it because it's
Yes, please don't.
it is a wormhole of awesomeness and craziness and ridiculousness. But basically, it's based on Hirohiko Araki's super popular manga series that's been going since the 80s. Now, this series has had so many games of varying quality, and we'll get to that in a second with this game. But basically, this was originally a PS3 exclusive from around 2013. And it's made by anime fighting specialists CyberConnect 2, who have very divisive developer. They make a lot of anime games. A lot of them very average, a lot of them review very average, but every now and then they'll make something that people love. So this is a more traditional 2D fighter. You can still sidestep and everything, versus the most recent game in the series, which is Eyes of Heaven, which is a game that the first game I bought when I got my PS5. I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay in that one. This one is much more up my alley, and I've always wanted to play this game, and I never had a PS3. So what have they done to this game? So first of all, it's coming out on everything, which is awesome because, as I said, the original was PS3 only. This is coming out on Switch, Xbox, Steam, so everyone's going to get a chance to play it. Since 2013, in the West, JoJo has exploded in popularity. So all you have to do is just go on YouTube or Reddit, and like, this is the game that has the most comments of the State of Play. This is the people.
Really?
People making countless videos about what are the new characters going to be. This series is so popular, and people, I think, were just wanting something new in the game space from them. And Eyes of Heaven is not loved by a lot of people because of the gameplay style. But I was about to say, what are they doing to this? So they're upgrading the visuals, so it is a remaster in that regard. But they're also revamping a lot of the character models, bringing them closer to the anime color variants of the costumes, because JoJo's really weird. Basically, even in the anime itself, some of the characters can go through about 5 different color changes throughout the episode. It's just the style.
Okay.
But there's almost like a default, and they've changed stuff to default of that. They've reworked all of the character models. The game runs at 60 frames a second, so the original ran at 30, which for a fighting game is obviously a huge improvement. They're re-recording all the dialogue with the anime voice cast. So when this game came out in 2013, I'm not sure exactly how far along they were, but they'd essentially only started adapting the first 2 parts of JoJo, and there's 8 parts of JoJo of the manga. So there's 8 parts. They're adapting the first 2 to anime. Now, since they're mid part 6 at the moment on Netflix, so they're able to get all the voice casts they cast for the anime and re-record all the voices, which I think is a huge thing that fans are going to love for this. They are adjusting the gameplay. Now, I've never played this game, so I can't talk too much about this, but they are adding more tag elements. They're adding like air dashes and things, so they are spicing the gameplay up a bit as well. There's new modes. There's new stages. So they are adding a lot to this. But I think the biggest thing that people love to talk about are the characters in this. So the original game had 41 characters. This game has 50. Now, it means there's at least 9 new, because I think there's one character that they may not have in this one that was like a crossover character that I think isn't confirmed for this. So there's a good chance there's probably 10 new characters they're adding to this. And we know from a leaked screenshot, or a screenshot they accidentally put up, that there's 2 characters that are already in, which is Trish and Prosciutto from part 5. All the characters will be unlocked from the beginning, so it's almost like what they did with Smash not Smash, with
the opposite.
Was it Mario Kart?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's what
I know I don't want to labor it, but I just wish that there's a setting in the settings menu which you can go, unlock everything, otherwise no.
That's what I was thinking of, where it's okay, they've changed that.
Yeah.
And look, there's a whole lot of likely characters. The likely characters they're probably going to introduce are the ones that have already got Eyes of Heaven, because a lot of the game, they share an engine. They often share assets. They've shared assets between those games. So there's a good chance that a lot of those characters that were in Eyes of Heaven that aren't in this game are going to be the ones brought in. But I think the big stuff that people are wanting. So when this game came out, Part 8 was, I think it was pretty early. Part 8's now finished, Jojo and the manga, so they're able to bring in like the main villain in that series if they wanted. I think that's what people really want, even if it's DLC. But Part 9, the manga, is going to start this year. So people really hoping that, who we don't know who the protagonist is going to be of that, because it obviously hasn't started yet, because each part has a new protagonist. So we're hoping that people really hoping that they bring in the Part 9 protagonist even as DLC to this game. So I'm super pumped for this. It's much more up my alley than Eyes of Heaven. I will go back to Eyes of Heaven and play through the campaign of that. But I think this is a game for JoJo fans, not so much a game, I think, for fighting game fans. Like, as a fighting game, it's not super well regarded, but as a fan service JoJo game, it's massively regarded. So
yeah, look, I don't know anything about JoJo outside of you mentioning it a bunch of times.
It's awesome. That's what it is.
I'm hearing more in just random podcasts. They're like, oh, JoJo, you got to get onto JoJo's. You probably might have seen my reaction. I was reading like the fan requested characters, and then in Part 6, it's Foo Fighters. I was like,
yep.
What? Foo Fighters?
Yep.
Like, they've rolled Foo Fighters. And then I Google Foo Fighters. I'm like, what is this? Like,
all the characters.
is this like Sherlock Holmes in Ace Attorney, where they had to translate it to something else? Like, what is it? Herlock Sholmes in the West?
So, funny thing is, right, so what they do with JoJo, because all the characters and stands and everything JoJo are all named after bands and songs and stuff. When they translate it for like official English release, they have to change all the names all the time.
Yeah, so it's like Herlock Sholmes. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so for instance, Killer Queen, one of the villain stands, is Deadly Queen. Shining Diamond is changed to Crazy Diamond, I think it is. Like, they changed them all.
Shining Diamond? Well, you mean like Shine On You Crazy Diamond?
Yeah.
Like Pink Floyd.
There's Crazy
Diamond's like just as close as Shining Diamond.
Like, yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like, there's a stand called Pearl Jam. You know, like it's this game. Yeah, there's like you see the list. This is the most music.
Oh yeah, Mariah. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, there's heaps. It's from a music Easter egg standpoint, it's insane. There's whole videos that go for like an hour just talking about the musical references. But my favorite is the fact that the villain of Part 7, his stand is called, which is like the power, is called Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Dirt Cheap, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they just call it D4C in English because that's what they nickname it anyway. So
that's funny. Actually.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm super pumped for this. It's obviously not going to be up everyone's alley, but
yeah, like
hell yeah, I'm going to get this.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm super looking forward to this. So
yeah, nice. No, cool. Awesome. All right, I think you're going to take over the next story as well, because I refuse to say the name of this island.